I don't know. I don't know. It's all by what I read. But you got a lot more people that are your friends here that aren't going to believe that. So, 50-50. I'm not changing my vote to him. He's from, Wait. Right.
No control.
I can't believe you said that. Because I said to Gerard the other day, I said, people could walk in there and like really get upset in this place. I try to shoot that house. Some people just shoot to shoot. In the churches, yeah. Could happen to anybody. That poor fireman at Trump's rally. And Gerard would probably dive in front of me, I have to say. He's a good one.
He would.
Yeah.
You ready to leave? You want to leave?
My mother sent me.
Oh, how cute. Oh, see? As long as mom's on your side, you can do no wrong. Yeah, so tomorrow is mine and my grandson's birthday. And my daughter-in-law, we're not spending it together. We had it last weekend. And I babysat for him today. But she's due, like, she's due November 17th. But she had to get that stitched up because her floor was, she's supposed to be bedridden. And so she goes to the doctor's Monday, and they're going to cut those stitches now. Baby will probably be born right away.
Probably.
Yeah, because they said she had a very weak pelvic floor or something.
She's a baby baby.
No, she's a girl, and she's, they think right now she's about 5.5 pounds. So, we'll see.
Did you ever hear of a pulmonary artery catheterization?
No, but if they do catheterizations other places, I guess they're down there too. Somebody need that.
My mother's getting one.
Oh.
She found out today. So she failed her, like, something came up on a distress test.
Oh.
It showed like a shadow, and they're not sure it was from her like breast cancer from the scar tissue many years ago. So they're doing a pulmonary one, which is not your common.
I just saw Sue House. Oh, is that your timekeeper? Who's the timekeeper?
No, she,
oh, she's the timekeeper.
has,
Right.
like, a
She told me she
singing
didn't really want to do it.
Got about a minute.
No.
What does she have, a
I have
stopwatch?
so much
I'm just going to use her watch.
Oh. Ready. Ready as I'll ever be.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, no.
Please take your seats. And before we begin, please make sure that your cell phones are at least on silent, if not turned off.
Oh, I should shut down. That would be terrible.
And now, please stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, if we could have a moment of silence, please keep Artie Cullen in your prayers. We've heard some things. Artie's a good guy. Art Cullen. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to get started. I want to explain how this is going to work this evening. But the first thing I want to mention is we've heard that some people are not getting the robocalls. And so our understanding is that it's on their end, not on our end. But make sure that you have the administration number in your contact list so that the calls don't go to spam, okay? So we're working on it and we'll get it straightened out. This is the way the program is going to work this evening. The candidates will each have up to 5 minutes to introduce themselves and to give you some information about their background, their motivation, why they want to serve on the board, and so forth. After that, there will be questions from the floor. And whatever questions are asked will be answered by each of the candidates in succession, so you'll get to hear their positions on those things. The questions have to be about why they want to run for the board, what they've accomplished, what they might bring to the table, what priorities they might have, or what projects they think are good going forward. We cannot answer or ask any questions about pending litigation, so please keep those off the table, okay? Once they've done their introductions, then we will take questions from the floor. If you want to ask a question, please raise your hand. Once you're acknowledged, come to the front, to the podium, give your name and your address, one question at a time. After you've asked your question, you can return to your seat and the next person. If everybody's finished answering their questions and you have a follow-up, you can come back up again, but only one question at a time, please. Let's see. The only other thing I want to say is, please keep this civil, polite, and professional. Make it easy on everybody. Okay, so we'll start with you, Doreen Campbell.
Hey. Hello, my name is Doreen Campbell. I live at 11 Poe Road. My husband and I have been there since January of 2018. The reason I'm running for the board is because I thought that my property management background, along with some of the other jobs that I've held, would be a good fit and a lot cheaper for everyone here to use me than to go to a property management agency. So that's the reason I'm running. What else? I have 2 kids, 2 dogs, a grandbaby whose birthday is the same day as mine tomorrow, and another little baby on the way probably within a week or 2. Thank you, thank you. Some of my job history. I worked for Merrill Lynch Hubbard, which was a real estate investment trust. What that is companies buy up all different properties, usually ones that you could lease out, make a lot of money, and then the investors invest in your portfolios. So I have been an assistant property manager for all different types of properties, office buildings, apartment buildings, shopping centers, residential. So I have a pretty good knowledge of how you're supposed to run, what you're supposed to look up for them, checking on taxes, all things of that nature. And they were nationwide. It wasn't just in the state of New Jersey. I lived in New York at the time. So I hope you vote for me. That's really all I have to say. Next.
Thanks for coming out tonight. As most of you probably know me, I'm Peter D'Agostino. I've been your board treasurer for 2 years, and most recently, your board president. The 2 positions are very different, both with the common denominator of helping strengthen our community from different aspects. When I started as treasurer, it was important for me to tackle the cash flows of our organization. You know, when you study cash flow, it really allows you to understand an organization and streamline any inefficiencies, which really in turn it enabled me to deliver an accurate budget that reflected seasonality and more so, you know, able to explain it like a second skin in layman's terms to our residents. As president, especially with a new board, there are a lot of nuances in Greenbriar that you cannot teach beforehand, but you have to tackle and teach them as they come up. And I think the learning curve is relatively sharp for new board members. One of the disappointments that I have learned as president of the board is that, you know, you cannot make everyone happy. I enjoyed trying, and, you know, I have enjoyed folks who have asked for help, whether it was to look at a light or a sprinkler at 9 o'clock at night, even with an umbrella. I've always enjoyed listening to our residents, their concerns, their suggestions, even opening the pool to residents that weren't attending our summer parties and keeping the pool deck open for the fall. I delivered a common sense approach to our ACC, like allowing residents to keep a couple chairs in front of their driveway through May through October 31st. And redoing our docks at an affordable, like 10% of what originally was quoted. That was all milestones, I believe, in our community. I feel that I've truly listened, whether residents called me on the phone, shown up at my door, or spoke to me at an open meeting. There's still some things that I need more time for, with the hope that most will be accomplished by year end. We're very nearly finalizing our 2026 budget. However, there's different variables that they're intertwined that affect that, such as securing a vendor for our HVAC, and in the most economical way, and structuring, you know, a finance deal for that. That intertwines with the reserve study and the structural integrity bill. They're all, you know, they all tie together. All of which I've been navigating us through and working to get us through with minimal impact as possible. You know, I hope I have our community support, you know, as we navigate challenges of the future, you know, but at the end of the day, the choice is up to you. You know, I thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for attending Candidates Night. My name is Joanna Fregon, and I have been a resident of Greenbriar for 14 years. This past year, I have served on the Greenbriar Board as secretary. Since being elected, I have enjoyed working with the board on behalf of our residents. I think we have had some positive changes this past year after getting much feedback from our residents. For example, replacing the concrete slabs and benches in the community, working with the Department of Public Works, having the arrows painted throughout the community. I also followed up on a contact I had with the Freehold Board of Education to get a vendor to give us an additional quote for our HVC unit. As a resident of the community, I also have a vested interest in the financial decisions that are made on behalf of all the residents in the community. I still work part-time at a mortgage company, and on my free time, I enjoy spending with my great-grandchildren. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming to this important event to help shape the future of our future community. I would like to thank the voting committee for setting up tonight's candidate night and for their efforts to ensure a proper vote. My name does not appear on the ballot, not because of anything improper, but because I only recently decided to add my name as a candidate. We are all too familiar with the recent events that have unfolded, and I want to present my name as an alternative to those that are on the ballot as a write-in candidate. I would like to be your voice, your eyes, your ears on this board of trustees. I have been a member of this association since 2020. My wife and I moved here as empty nesters, looking to downsize our home and enjoy a new community. My home is here. My friends are here. And I don't like what has transpired. The allegations against
Steve-
this board demand change.
Stephen, no. We cannot discuss that, so.
I didn't discuss a lawsuit. I am running because I don't think those involved with recent allegations should continue to run our association.
Okay.
This vote is your chance to agree or disagree. I am concerned with what appears to be lackadaisical actions and attitudes of our Board of Trustees.
Okay.
There are
No.
concerns as to the
No,
present
no.
picture-perfect contract
Cut the
being
mic.
approved without the board seeking outside bids.
The text cut the
To not
mic.
seek additional bids is wrong. What monies could have been saved or what additional services we could have received, we will never know.
You'll never know.
I also understand the Picture Perfect claimed to have experience with golf
now we're doing
courses, which they did not. A simple phone call to check references could have easily exposed this. Thirdly, and related, a review of the contract from LMS and Picture Perfect would have highlighted that Picture Perfect did not handle snow removal, where LMS did. I understand that just this week a contract may have been procured. To wait until late fall to look for a contract that to handle snow removal is irresponsible. I also have concerns for how the board has acted recently, specifically the meeting before last, where the board approved a very vague code of conduct. The statement that it was sitting on someone's desk for the past 5 years and was overlooked is bordering on negligence and not believable. Any questions regarding what the code included was quickly brushed off with an even more vague comment and a wave of a condescending hand. I witnessed this, as many as you did. We are all members of this association, and the concerns of members should not be brushed off with a condescending hand. At the same meeting, Danielle from our office appointed the new administrator for Greenbriar. I wish Danielle much success in her new position. I am angered that the position was not properly vetted by the board. My understanding that the job posting was placed on Indeed, then quickly removed as being filled, stinks to high hell. I know people who were interested in this position, and they were robbed of that opportunity. The prior board searched months for a proper candidate with proper administrator experience. This board resolved it overnight. This is another infuriating act by this board. As a member of the board, I would like to focus on the appearance of our community. Looking around the outside of the clubhouse, I see faded signs, the shelters and storage units by the bocce and shuffleboard courts could use a fresh coat of paint. There's wood rot on the base of the sheds, which only invites rodents and more damage to the sheds. The scoreboards for the shuffleboard look old. My pet peeve is the rocks surrounding the clubhouse.
Okay, time.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Okay, we can now take questions from the audience, so if you have a question, please raise your hand and then come forward. The back.
Debbie Jordan, 20 Keats. So you just listed all of your issues with the past and current board, but I didn't really hear your qualifications. So I'm really confused. You had X amount of time, and all we heard was what they did wrong. I don't know what you're gonna do right. That's all.
If I may answer, I am currently an office manager at a Lower Manhattan law firm. The law firm revenue and employee is roughly the same size as Greenbriar. I have been managing the accounts payable, the accounts receivable, and the facilities, as well as many legal matters for the firm. I believe these experiences will help me to work with the board and with you to continue our wonderful association. I have also left my resume on the chairs tonight for everyone to review.
Do any of you have anything to say? Or
Well, that question
Yeah,
was
it's
really
specific
directed
for
to
him.
Fine. Sally?
Sally Brooks. My question is, what do you think or want your biggest achievement to be if you were on the board?
I'm first, right? My biggest achievement, I think, would be to try to keep our common costs as low as we could and manage the property so that it still stays looking really nice within our budget.
My biggest outlook is to get our HVAC working. It's been a project that's been, right?
Amen.
It's been a project, 10 years, would you say? 15 years, Ruth says. So, and the cost of that is phenomenal. So to get that done in the most reasonable way possible, and as soon as we could get like a contract, then that could come off the reserve study, which then, I could take it off like the budget, and that's a whole nother conversation, but that's my outlook. And I'd like to have something signed before year end, knock on wood, and start at sometime in February.
I would like to see this community come together. Friendly, respectful, and helping one another. I would also like to see many more things implemented in the community if our budget would allow it.
Such as?
Excuse me?
Such as what?
As? What would you like to see?
What would I like to see? I would like to see the clubhouse fixed up, the HV fixed, whatever there's a whole list of things, but we have a budget. We would like to have everything. Unfortunately, we can't.
Steve?
The things that I would like to be noted for, if I was to be elected to the board, as I was starting to allude to, I would like to improve the appearance of the outside grounds of Greenbriar. The boulevard, it is not really grass on the boulevard, we have moss. I don't know what can be done about it, but I would like to work with someone to make it more appealing. I go to other communities, and I'm in awe of how beautiful the entranceways of these communities look. Mosses and all that,
Please,
good looking.
Sorry, Steve.
No problem. And also the rocks, as I was starting to talk about. They could easily become tripping hazards as the rocks roll onto the sidewalks. They are, there's bald areas, there's weeds growing in it. I don't know if we need to convert it to grass or what, but I would like to work with the community to find an answer to make these areas look nicer.
Please,
Thank you.
audience, please refrain from commenting when people are talking because we're recording this. And all of that background stuff makes it very difficult for the people who are going to be watching this from home.
Hi, my name is Marion Gillespie, 25 Patmore. I hate microphones.
me too.
My question is for the entire board, or potential board. And I went to the office today to try and look at the code of conduct. And this would apply to everybody. Now, you two are on the board, so you know about the code of conduct. But the other new people apparently don't know that there is currently a code of conduct in place. I was not able to see it. I was told that the lawyer has to approve our seeing it. What has transpired that was talked about at the meeting was a ratification to that code of conduct. Now, you're all going to be, have to sign it. I think in terms of transparency, as a member of this community, I would like to know what your feelings are on that.
Okay, I'll start.
No, it's
Oh.
Peter's turn.
Oh,
Start.
oh, I didn't know we did that.
You know, I've been on the board 3 years, and I know we have to sign an NDA, and then we have to, there's a speaking thing, it's you swear to, but I don't know, and I don't know of any other code of conduct, until we saw that one from 2017.
We all had to sign confidentiality agreements.
Confidentiality agreement
Totally
is different than a
Right,
code of
I
conduct.
understand that.
But was there anything else?
No, not when I was, no.
Yeah, and
Carolyn told me, because she was in the office today, she told me that there is currently a code of conduct that every board member signs on January.
that could be the NDA package. That could be just, that what is said in there has to remain there. But like I said, like for instance, when a new board member comes on, and Carolyn, I was on the board with Carolyn. So if a new board member came on, Carolyn would do like a swearing in, and I can't think of any, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't think of any other document, because that's what that one was from 2017.
Well, then I don't understand what this code of conduct issue is, because the lawyer has to approve my seeing it as a member of the community.
Well, it has to be like,
Called it a code of conduct.
it has to be like, he has to send it off to the state, and then it gets recorded at the county, and then then you could see, I think we were putting it into.
It's not finalized yet?
No, it has to be,
That's
well,
what-
it's signed, and it's, he signed it like as a notary, and then it has to be recorded, and then we figured we would publish it in the Greenbriar Times.
Okay, but Carolyn said you had a code of conduct, and I could not see it. So I'm talking about transparency.
I maybe, I know probably Carolyn probably said that, but I don't know what she's referring to.
Well,
I mean,
transparency.
she's here, Carolyn's here. Oh, you guys, you want?
Yeah, go ahead, Joanna.
No, she wants one.
Did you want, you gonna address, that's it? Mita Garcia, 61 Markham Road. Can you share an example of how you've handled disagreements or conflicts in a community or a workplace setting?
Have we handled it? If we had a complaint?
You as a group, yeah. You, because you're already on the board, right?
If we had a
So-
complaint, we addressed it, and we tried to do the best we can to solve it. I don't know what you're exactly referring to.
Like an example of when there has been an agreement, maybe like the two that are not on the board yet, maybe at work, you have settled a disagreement or a settlement with a coworker, with an employer, with yourselves, you're working together in the board, maybe you and Peter have a disagreement. Well, how have you settled it? Have you went out for coffee? Have you just...
You mean between the board?
With anybody. I mean, it's just how people handle...
Well, we listen to each other's opinion, we respect each other's opinion. In the end, we have our own opinion, and we try to do the best we can to solve any problem that arises at the moment.
Okay. Anybody else have anything different?
We go in order, right?
Yeah, we have to go in.
We have to go in order.
I've been working as a office manager for 22 years. I've always kept open dialogue with the people, I don't want to say underneath me, but the people that work for me, always for the benefit of the firm, to keep projects moving along. Disagreements arguments do arise, but keep an open dialogue is always the answer.
Okay. Okay, having worked in the corporate world for over 40 years, I too took the code of conduct every year, all the follow-up training that you have to have, your compliance training. Yes, we did have some conflicts in the office, but you have to handle them with diplomacy, and you have to just be kind to people. So we usually would just sit down, talk it through, and say, and now if you were in my position, you like try to talk it through and say, I see what you're saying, but from my point of view, this is how it would be. And then you just try to work through it together and solve it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let me answer too. I didn't get a chance to answer.
Oh, Peter wants to answer. I know, it gets confusing.
You know,
this one.
Nita, that happens all the time. You know, we have a suggestion box, and residents put suggestions, and they also put concerns. And, you know, during the peak of the summer, you see a lot of concerns about, you know, amenities, maybe pickleball court. And so sometimes, you know, you have to really have a good discussion with the pickleball member who comes to sit with you and say, hey, why can't we level out this court or build another court? Right. And, you know, you have to, because, you know, you can't forget that we're residents as well, and we're neighbors, and we're friends, and, you know, we have to have a diplomatic approach. And, you know, and I think that I would like to think that even by a show of hands, I mean, I could see a few people, different committees, that we've had to have, you know, a good disagreement to come around full circle, a working type of disagreement.
Where is that box located anyway?
What's that?
Where is that box?
Oh, that box is like right in the lobby, right at the table.
Oh, in the living room area?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never saw it. Thank you.
Hi, Annette Mielo, Sydney Court. I'd like to address this to all the board, but to the one person in particular. You made great references to code of conduct. You were sitting 2 rows behind me at the meeting. The things you were yelling out, I felt like I was at a Jets football game. It was harassment, it was unkind, it was so beyond the scope of understanding, and it was so beyond the scope of code of conduct. Will this be your behavior in the future? And
No, and I greatly apologize for that.
Yes, I mean, you yelled out things
I got
that
caught
were...
up in the moment, and it was wrong of me.
Well, I'm sure several people were, but we kept our good grace about us. You did not.
I acknowledge that.
Thank you, Annette.
Anybody else care to comment? Thank you.
Hi, John.
Hello, everybody. John McCool, 24 Whitman.
Please, audience, please. Thank you.
So we have in New Jersey a structural integrity bill. Only the second state in the United States. There's four now, okay.
Yeah. It started with 4 states. Started out of Florida.
Okay, so as a senior on a fixed income, scares me to death.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need trustees with a very sharp pencil. That's all I have to say. Go ahead. Opinions.
Opinions. Who starts this one?
Did I start it?
Steve?
You started?
You already went, right?
Steve
Okay,
went.
so it's...
Oh, it's back to me. Okay, the integrity bill. I forgot the question
you might
already.
not even know it.
Is that based on the resolution you're working on?
No.
Okay.
Do you want me to just
Yeah, go ahead.
take it? You know, John, I'm going to take the question because, you know, it's something that, I mean, real quick, because we could talk about it forever, and it's a very intrusive, it's a very intrusive bill, and 4 or 5 states, it came out of Florida when that high-rise collapsed. Florida was the first one, North Carolina, Delaware, New Jersey, possible New York. And, you know, it just doesn't affect, you know, senior communities. It affects any community that has, and, you know, people say that, okay, you know, we own our own houses. We're fee simple. So, you know, we're responsible for our own houses. Why does this affect us? You know, and I've talked about this a bit for the last, you know, 18 months. But how it does affect us, and, you know, I'm going to just take a couple minutes on this, you know.
Great, so.
Okay, and how it does affect us is that any community, whether it's a 55 or not, that has more than $25,000 in community property. Now, you could say, well, what do we have? Well, we have the clubhouse you're sitting in. We have the pool. We have the equipment. We have the outbuildings. Anything that, and it affects anything that really can depreciate. And what it calls for is replacement of everything 2 times in the next 30 years. So the darn thing goes out to 30 years from now. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. So they have like the floor that you're standing on to be replaced 2 times in the next 30 years. How many times has it been replaced in 50 years? None. That's the original floor. We all find it like invasive and intrusive because nothing's wrong with it. So real quick, so we got the last reserve study that we got with, you know, it was Carolyn Board and mine, and it was from Falcon. It was horrible. They wanted to replace this 2 times for $500,000. They wanted to replace this year, this 2025 year, the facade of this building for $1.5 million. So from our auditor, I got another company that does the reserve study, that does this type of engineering. And it came back over the summer, and, you know, I had mentioned it briefly, and it's so much more favorable. For instance, the last study that we did in 2024 had Greenbriar going negative, about $2 million. And we have like $2 million in the reserve. They had us going negative this year or next year by $2 million. Now, if that, I talked about cash flow. If that statement of cash flow that comes from this engineering firm becomes negative within 2 years, you have 2 more years to make up that shortcoming. If that cash flow statement stays positive, even $1, then you have 10 years to make up your funding for your 30-year plan. With that said, real quick, for next year, 2026, the majority of what's on our reserve study is the HVAC system and the docks. That's, I'd say, 90% of it. So our board, even last year, we did a couple projects to get them off that list. And once you sign up, you know, once we hire the firm to do the HVAC and we secure the financing, I think it's like $900,000 that is on that cash flow statement. That would come off.
Okay.
So, is it
Time.
time? Is it time? Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you sure?
I mean, it's for
He could go on.
Well, I mean, okay.
Tony Mento, 49 Decker Court. And actually, I was coming up to ask basically the same, very similar question to that. Only because I would assume that anybody running for the board and anybody on the board already knows how this affects us and how it could affect even our monthly fees and everything else. And I would like to hear what each of you think about this, or have you thought about this, and what you could do to maybe make sure that we don't get fees that are increased. And I'd like to hear from all of you, actually.
Well, let me just quickly continue my last thought, since I got a couple more minutes. So taking that big chunk of the docks that are done, we did the docks for $15,200. That came off. Well, that will come off when we send it back to the engineering firm once we sign with a contract to do the HVAC, and then that HVAC comes off as well. So we don't We don't have, once that is off, then we don't have to worry about replacing that in year one, because now that's good for at least 15 more years. So that's why it's very important to keep an eye on the cash flow and your replacement of those things.
Okay.
Okay.
I was familiar with it from Peter. Peter had sat with us at a few of the parties, and he had mentioned the reserve study to us. And without knowing every single thing that's on it, once I got on the board, if you choose me, I would definitely take a good look at it and see what items I could help, find ways to reduce whatever they're trying to make us save the money for. Peter did say that there's some things that were on the initial study when this first came out, and since he has already done some of the improvements, that's what caused the study to come down. So I would continue to follow whatever's been put in place for that as a whole board. Thank you.
I would also continue to do that. We don't really know exactly how it's going to end up. Peter is an expert, and we all will rely on his intelligence to help us navigate this.
Thank you.
I don't have much to add to it. I do know expenses need to be spread out over time and with a diligent eye over what is being spent. And I really don't have much else to add to that.
You know, it's a daunting, it's a daunting bill, and... Oh, hi.
Any other questions?
She's so cute.
Ginny Carlson for Bryant Road. Thank you, Donna, for having the candidates night this evening, and those of you who are willing to, excuse me? Oh, sorry, I was never good at this. Quick question. Now that we have a new administrator, can you share with me approaches that you will take with the office and the staff to assure that the communication between the board and the staff, and critically more so, from the board out to the community, will be enhanced or more consistent?
General question.
Joanne, can you repeat that? Can you share with me ideas that you would have in working with the new administrator and the office staff to assure that communication between you, the board, and the staff in the office are improved, if there's room for improvement, and as well as, more importantly, communications about maybe our governing documents and our resolutions and the committees would then go out to the residents?
Well, I think first of all, with the new administrator, we're going to have a weekly meeting to set new procedures.
Wonderful.
There are some procedures that are not too effective at this time. So I think we need some new procedures. Okay. And we'll go from there. And it's going to be a learning process for all of us. It's a new administrator, a new board, a lot of new things, and we have to take each step one by one. Do the best we can. We're here, we're residents. We want what everybody else wants. A community, a safe community, and an affordable community. A community where everybody knows nobody's trying to hide anything. We're all opened. So we will do the best we can. And if you have any suggestions, as you have in the past, that you want to bring to us, we're more than happy to hear them.
I agree with just about everything Joanna said. I agree that open dialogue is extremely important between the employees, the board, and the administrator. Hands down, that is extremely important. No condescending waving of the arms saying you'll read it when it's passed or anything like that. No, you discuss and you talk and you keep open dialogue for everybody at meetings, whether board meetings or meetings in the office or board meetings itself.
Well, if I was selected to be on the board, I would probably have a close relationship myself with the administrator, offer her any help that she may need regarding property management, or help her out if I could take anything off her plate. So I plan on working closely with her. That would be my way.
Ginny, hi. Since in the last 2 weeks, we've been having actually like a staff meeting like once a week now. So you're going to see throughout the next, I don't know, few months, a lot of rollout with like proper HR things in place. You know, all the things that you've worked on, you know, when you were on the board, you're going to see like that kind of all roll into place. So it's going to be run like a company should be. So there's a lot in the works, and I don't want to discuss it because it has employees, you know, but just give it a little bit of time, and I think you'll see a huge change in the way, you know, communication is rolled out, because, you know, as you knew, sometimes communication never got to the staff of the office, and, you know, you needed meetings. We needed meetings weekly, especially, you know, now that the administrator, she can, you know, have a meeting every week and fill in the office or whatever department with what they need to know. So when residents come looking for something as benign as tickets that, you know, the office is now familiar, okay, the tickets are going on sale for party XYZ, or, you know, there's something going on in the grounds department. So it's very important, and we've done it now twice, to have full staff meetings where there's a share of ideas between departments, and, you know, it's collaborative and it's effective.
Thank you. Just to add to what you said, there is a bit of code of conduct in the employees manual that already exists there. So I'm not sure about the other thing, but thank you. Thank you for your responses.
Wait, Ginny, I just had a quick question. I know this is odd, but I remember at another candidates night, you had asked the candidates if they had read a document, some kind of handbook before coming on the board.
There is what we developed, Peter and I and a bunch of people on the board last year and the year before that, we worked on an overview of board responsibilities. And that document, it's about 10 pages or so. It really delineates in each role, president, vice president, what your responsibilities are, and a little bit about your conduct, and a little bit about your relationship with your attorney and your accountant and your appraisers and that kind of stuff. So it should be in the office somewhere.
Okay, great,
and if
thank
not,
you.
Peter would have it electronically.
All right, great, thank you. I
All
just
right.
wanted to make sure I read it.
Mita Garcia, 61 Markham Road. I wish this was bigger. In light of recent legal and the personal issues that have occurred, and I feel like there's so much tension right now in the community, so what steps will you take to rebuild the trust between the residents and the board and the, you know, like to get us back to a happy place? Because between what's happened recently and the elections, I think it was like, was it 2 years ago? 3 years? Was it last year?
Could have been last
When the
year.
election, you know, when they stopped it and all that, you know, that was last year? You know, it's just feels like it's a lot. So what are your thoughts about, like, how can you rebuild this community where we could come to a meeting like this and not feel the hostility or the thickness in the air? Because I feel thickness in the air. Even just sitting here, even with the candidates speaking their mind, everybody's like, "Ugh." So that's my question.
The main way to resolve all that is transparency and open dialogue, and I'm 100% for that. By you and me discussing, everybody knows what's out there. Nothing hidden, no condescending comments, just
And
just working together.
And you're running for a seat, and so are Doreen?
Yeah.
Right, so, and then I want to hear, because you guys are already on the board, so.
I don't know, I think more events maybe where we get together and hash it out, mix people together that aren't usually together. That's usually a thing we did. There's all different opportunities you could take. We used to have those kind of exercises at all my jobs where they put you in a room with people, and then they ask all different questions, and you have to go to this table, and you have to go to that table, and they do like rotation sessions. We should start having like a few of those. They might be fun too, so. Yeah, that's what I would do.
That is fun.
That's kind of what I had done. In February, we had like an open cocktail party, like a wine and cheese type of thing. And it was a Monday evening. And it was, because, you know, the board was all new people except for myself and Pat. And I wanted, and it was set up like a cafe style. There was round tables, and it was, I had 226 people come, and it was, you know, all of the board members. We went around to the tables. We got to know our residents. And, you know, throughout the year, you can't hear? Throughout the year, there was different, for instance, the Memorial Day party. The Memorial Day party was something that I wanted all of our vendors to pay for, so to give everybody who lives at the community a free afternoon out, you know, where nobody had to pay for anything, and it was going to just be a beautiful social occasion. So, you know, and that's also why I had brought the meetings. I don't know, you came to the meeting, but the meetings had always been historically up here. And I had brought them down to the same floor. And I thought that is a way to make a playing field more casual, where we could share different ideas. And, you know, throughout all meetings, there's been times when residents have gone on and on and on about questions and things, and the audience might have been unhappy. And I would be like, let them finish, let them finish. So that type of demeanor and patience, I think, very important.
I think the past year we have started to do that by Peter having the table set on the bottom of the auditorium instead of up here. We also do have a suggestion box, which we open, and I personally call up and answer the questions that people have put in the suggestion box, if they leave their name and number. We also are open all the time for any resident to come up and ask us, give us an input of what they need or what they want. We are you. We are you. We are the same. We live here. We want everything to be wonderful. Of course, life isn't always wonderful, as we all know, but we try our best. That's all we can do, is try our best. And to be kind. And when you come to the meetings, be kind. Don't come with like an attitude. People come with attitudes, and be kind. Let's speak respectfully to each other. We all have differences of opinions, but that's okay. You don't have to be hostile when you have a difference of opinion.
Okay, we're at time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Minna.
Back. Mary Gillespie, 25 Patmore. Excuse me. This goes back to the suggestion box. I put in a suggestion in the suggestion box about the, when they do the trimming of the bushes. Twice. I got the ribbons, I put the ribbons on, they trimmed my bushes anyway. I was not happy. So I put in a suggestion to the suggestion box to have a different procedure for that. And I didn't hear anything, and as far as I know, the suggestion box doesn't really work.
Well, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the question, Marion, because you guys don't know the suggestion box. My bushes got cut too, and I hung like, there was a pink ribbon, there was a black ribbon, I hung like everything possible.
Pink and black ribbon.
Yellow.
You know, I hung every ribbon possible. So, you know, I don't know about your suggestion in particular, but I could give you an answer, because I went to, right after this last cut, which was what, a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so? it was, there was black ribbons and and I said to Craig, Craig, why in the world why can't we just hang like one ribbon and call it a day, you know? And that was kind of news to him, the way, you know, his site manager was operating that with, all these different ribbons. You got to call to go no cut list, and it was just like too much. Hang a pink ribbon and call it a day, right? So with that, with even my personal experience, and there was a few members, more than a few, of our community that had the same situation where like everything got cut and like there's a million ribbons, like it's obvious. With hope that, you know, well, not even with hope, because once the spring comes, I'm going to say to him, listen, pink ribbon, don't cut it. So I don't know what happened to your particular suggestion. I don't know. Joanna read the box, but I could definitely empathize with you because my stuff was cut as well.
Okay, but so much for the suggestion box.
Well, not necessarily. I mean,
and
things
the
are going to
other
slip. But,
thing-
you know, wait a second. This is not a forum for individual concerns. I'm sorry about your bushes, but this is really...
No. It's about the veracity of the suggestion box.
Okay.
It's not my particular issue.
Okay.
It's the you said that the suggestion box,
Wasn't improved.
that's what you're supposed to do.
People put cards in the suggestion box. They do not put their name. They do not put their number. We can't even answer them.
I did.
I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just making a statement.
Okay.
We can't answer someone if we don't have any information.
Okay.
Yours may have been overlooked, and for that I apologize.
Okay. Fine.
Marion, some good things came out of the suggestion box that you guys probably, you know, real quick. The gym is open at 5 a.m. We have a new pickleball net.
Come on up, Gerard.
Hi, good evening. Gerard Campbell, 11 Poe Road. Donna, thank you for doing the thing tonight. You got everybody under control so far. This is awesome. The questions tonight are all very good. I think they're hitting you with professional questions. What if? What would you do? What's happened in the past, etc. I'm going to ask the four of you, with a minimum of 5 years in the community and much more. What do you love about this community, and why do you want to be here? That's my question to you.
Me? I'll start. What do I love about this community? I love the feeling when you first drive in, and it's like, oh, okay, can you hear me now? I did work for AT&T. No, okay, what I love about the community is when you first drive in, it's like, thank God I'm off of Burn Tavern Road and every other crazy street out there. It just feels so much calmer the minute you drive in. I also love the lake, the swans, the fountains of running again. There's just a lot of really nice things. And there's a lot of nice people in here. But I have to say, don't anybody get mad at me, and tomorrow's my birthday, so be nice. I have to say that sometimes it just feels like high school in here. There's so many different girl groups. It's like, how do I keep up? And I try to not get involved in any of the drama, and I just want everybody here to act as one community. As Joanna, I think, said that before. We are all one community, and we should all try to be friends. And if you don't like somebody, you don't have to snub them or be nasty to them. Just say, hey, when you walk by. But you'll have your own group of friends, and everybody here is really, really nice. Maybe you have different opinions of different things, but we all have to live here together and have a beautiful community. Thanks.
You know, I moved here 9 years ago, and I felt very out of place because I was younger, and this community actually, you know, embraced me. And, you know, I forged friendships here that I never would have thought I would have had. And, you know, and there's been many times that, you know, I've had to help people with groceries, or during COVID, I would run to the store or pick them off if they slipped in, like, 4 people I've had to pick up off the ground because they've fallen. You know, and I have a good nature behind me that I like helping people. And, you know, besides being on the board, I enjoy helping people. And I found that here, and it seems like a very nice place for me.
I moved here 14 years ago after my husband passed away. I lived on California Avenue for 50 years. When I first moved here, my life was in shambles, to say the least. I met so many wonderful people who helped me heal throughout the years. When I come home and I drive into development, I feel safe. When I shut my front door, I feel safe. Yep. I know that I have neighbors. If I need them, I can call on them. I know there are many activities to do here if you want or if you don't want. I just love this community, and the people here are good people, kind people, and I hope we can keep it that way.
Greenbriar is a wonderful community. It is a beautiful community. I love the way that people keep their houses, their gardens, the decorations. I love our clubhouse. I love all the activities that go on here. Everything from the pool room to the golf course to the pools, ceramic clubs, the card room. The fact that everyone could gather here and make friends is phenomenal. I have met everyone on my block. We're all close friends. We all help each other with whatever needs to be done. A neighbor needed some siding washed because some algae grew on it, and the architectural committee said something. We were out there washing her house. I've been cited a few times. I've cleaned my house. I love it. We have standards here to keep the community standard and safe. The patrol, everything has been working wonderfully, and I just love being here, and I love all the new friends I've made.
Oh, two of them.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. First, I'd like to comment that the board does work more than its share right now, but I do have a question for everyone. I know your hours. I'm sure people contact you when you're out and about. Would you ever consider setting hours as to when the board should be disturbed and discuss if you're outdoors, say 9 to 5, any other business? You're saying you want to run this like a business.
Right.
Would you consider setting hours as to conducting Greenbriar business on your off hours? That would give everyone a little break and maybe bring down temperatures because it wouldn't be a constant discussion. The second part of this is for transparency. Some people are visual learners, some people are audio, some are both. Would you ever consider PowerPoints if you're on the board, or consider doing this so that individuals can see what you're talking about, a summary of what you've done, and if they want, come with pen and paper and write down notes, because some people don't remember everything. The other part of this is the formats of the meeting. Would you consider an itinerary, something that you would discuss, and keep it on subject so that people come knowing that a particular meeting is for this? And I know everyone has their opinions and wants to discuss numerous things, just makes it difficult because it consumes time, everyone's tired. So as a board, the three parts: set hours where people can truly discuss information with you, because you are a resident, you do live here, and everyone runs into you.
Right.
So in the office, or between the hours of 9 and 5, however you choose to set it. PowerPoint presentation for ease of understanding and seeing what the board has accomplished, what they plan on doing. And the final part of it is for just the mere fact of keeping civility on site. If you have a complaint, don't yell it out. Will you set these rules in the beginning of the meeting? Come to the podium to talk. Shut off your cell phones. Do not have open discussions behind other individuals in the auditorium, because it makes it difficult for those with possible hearing difficulties to understand what's going on. So I made it a fourth part. So those types of things. I don't know who would want to answer it.
I'll go.
If you find them to be viable.
Joanna's turn.
Oh, Joanna.
I think all the points you brought up are fabulous, and I think we should all consider them, and I, for one, would consider it.
Personally, as someone being on the board, if I was to, be elected to the board, I feel I should be open to anyone who wishes to speak to me. Yes, with some reasonable hours. Don't come knocking on my door at 11 o'clock at night, I'd appreciate that. But if I'm walking along the neighborhood or enjoying the lake or sitting on the bench and someone wishes to approach me, I have no problems with that. I would be open to discussing with anybody at any time. The idea of setting an itinerary, with some bullet points that are to be discussed at meetings, I think that's a wonderful idea.
My turn. Hours, I think hours are a great idea. That should be done right away. Presentation, I guess it depends again on budget and things like that and where we would show the presentation, or would we just put it out there online on maybe one of the Greenbriar sites? That would be a good idea also. And I'm pro-agenda. I know not everybody on the board is, but I definitely believe in agendas and they keep the meeting going, and how much time you should spend on a topic is met. So yes, I'm pro-agenda. Thank you.
You know, it's a dichotomy about setting hours, Donna, you know. In one, you know, I have people, I guess I'd say I have about 5 people every 15 days show up at my door. And, you know, I've enabled it, and I'm okay with it, because that's the person I am. And, you know, and sometimes it's like, okay, I'm cooking dinner and like, you know, but if it's that important to someone that they need to come to my house, then they need to. There's been, other board members has said, Peter, why don't you set hours, 9 to 5 and Monday through Friday? And, you know, I have a hard time with that. As much as like it sounds good on paper, I just started. I lost my train of thought. So, you know, that's not the person that I am. You know, I with all of our functions that we have, I've always been available. Second, with the agenda. There was one thing that I've started doing beginning of the year when, you know, I make a robocall about, you know, the meeting, you know, coming up on Monday. I usually give like a couple talking points, what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss, I don't know, wells or budget or this or that. And I've gotten positive feedback for that. The presentation, I think that's a great idea. I mean, it's fabulous.
Just so you know, I'm good at PowerPoint.
Can I speak?
Yes, your turn.
I don't have very much to say, but my name is Marion Baker, and I live at 4 Burns Court. And I'm only here 3 years, and I have to say the biggest thing that I was looking for when I was looking for a place to live was safety, because I live alone. And, you know, I feel very safe here, and it would be, I don't want to see anything change. I'm okay, you know, it's just me. But I feel that the people in here were very kind to me when I first came, and still are. And there's a lot of people in here who are lonely and sad. And it would be nice to knock on your neighbor's door once in a while and say, do you need anything? Or, I mean, I'm all about kindness and love, because we live in a world right now that is disturbing all our lives in a very big way.
Yep.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. I think that's it.
Okay. Come on. Yeah, sure. Would the board, when you're in session or however it works, consider doing seminars for individuals in the community, perhaps one every other month, with regards to, I received an insert in the New Jersey natural gas bill. Most people probably don't read those things. I'm a reader. And it did mention something about when they put in their gas lines, they're not always conscious of where they put them. They could go over sewer lines, and there is always a potential someone doesn't call 811 to dig. They have a program where they'll bring someone in to speak about that. You know, placements of pipes and just safety precautions, as do a number of other companies. Is this something the board would consider perhaps maybe once every month or 2 months to bring in a speaker that could speak to how important it is to have permits for the township? You can contact them, they'll come in. How important it is to have 811 dig. How important it is to, you know, utility companies. You know, don't touch down wires, something along those lines, because I'm horrified when I hear people have done work in this community without permits. So without township permits or calling 811. Is this something that you could consider to educate the community?
I think it's a wonderful idea. When I was up in Middletown at St. Mary's Church, they had a detective come in one day into the church to describe various scams affecting the elder community. And I think that would be a very wonderful idea. Whether it's like a small gathering or like when they test the blood pressure. I don't think too many people show up. I'm really not too sure. I don't know how it would fill a room like this. It certainly could be recorded and put on our website. Absolutely wonderful idea.
I also think it's a wonderful idea. And in addition to, like you said, the power services and things of that nature, we could also get like fire safety. My husband would be glad to do the course for all of you. All right, anytime. Just returning the favor for your questions. And yeah, but things of that nature, safety issues and knowing what to keep for your fire safety in the house. And he's done those for years for the New York City Fire Department and then again at Goldman Sachs, and he's very good at it. So fire safety would be a good one.
Donna, a lot of that does happen, but it's during the day. We have blood pressure, we had Bank of America. So a lot of those things can only happen, you know, before 5 o'clock. It's a wonderful idea. And, you know, sometimes I think it was last year that the police had come and they had talked about driving under the influence of marijuana. Do you guys remember that? And, you know, they came in the evening. But most of those things happen during the day, here anyway.
Okay. Just as a suggestion, record it and show it at a monthly meeting. Yeah, presentation, PowerPoints, you have technical people, so it's just a suggestion in that respect. Is that doable?
That's a great idea, yeah. Thanks, Donna.
Doesn't anybody want to go home? No.
Hi, Kevin Clark, 3 Masters Road. I'm not sure the last time it was done, but looking over the bylaws, would you support a kind of an ad hoc committee of board members and residents to review the bylaws as they're currently written and try to, not only the bylaws, but maybe some of the other things, but especially the bylaws, because that was one of the issues that I'm concerned with. So would you support, again, an ad hoc commission, a committee? Because I know we have the 4 committees, 4 standing committees that people can be part of. So an ad hoc would have a temporary time period that would be, you know, given a specific job to do, and then that would be the end of that committee for that time. So would you support the creation of a board resident
committee for?
That, you know, that was something that we kind of tried to do because some of those bylaws are, you know, they're 50 plus years old and they're outdated. To change a bylaw, it's a little bit of cost, something, you know, it has to be mailed out to all the residents, and then if 10% or less come back, then the bylaw can be changed. Now, the rules and regs, that's something that's different. They can be updated. There's new ones that could be put into place. But I think, you know, having a committee like that, you know, with a different, you know, with two different sets of eyes, I think is very wise. Kevin, that's a very nice idea.
I agree with Peter, and I think it would be a good idea.
I have no qualms with it. Like they were saying, the bylaws, some of them are over 50 years old. There need some upgrades for them as well. So a community involved is always a positive.
I also agree with the bylaws being recognized and posted everywhere. And I go to the bylaws a lot whenever I'm doing anything at my house. I always go read and make sure that I'm doing it the right way. Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Bill Hood, 11 Whitman Street. I've been here for 30 years. In all that time, we've always had access to this meeting, any meeting, telecast on the community TV.
Channels, 97. Yeah, it's gone.
Is that in the works? Can it be resolved?
I don't think so. I think it's a
It's a Comcast issue.
Yes,
I understand
and I think they've
that.
been trying to get it fixed but once they did the upgrade, they just blew it out on everybody. Because since you've been here 30 years, I'm sure you remember that we would broadcast from the little studio.
Sure.
And people would have authors come in and physicians come in.
But it's unfair to a lot of the residents.
But it's not our fault.
I understand that. But Comcast can't be that big a company that you can't resolve it.
Well, Bill, something has to deal with the line. Now, this is like out of my wheelhouse, okay? But the wires that run out to the street to here are corroded, and I don't want to speak too much for it, but they're willing to not do it. I mean, they're not willing to upgrade them.
But somebody has been in here installing fiber optics.
No, I don't think Verizon has been here. FiOS won't come here.
I don't know who it is, but somebody's been in here installing fiber optic systems.
I think streaming is the future, and that's what they're all pushing for, all these tech companies.
Well, it's fine, but...
Yeah, I know, but maybe we could work with one of the companies and ask if there's a way they could set up a channel that would stream for everyone.
If they've been in business as long as they are and continue to charge the fees that they charge, there should be some way that we can get it on our TV.
Bill, are you referring to like all of the digging that you've seen around?
I know there's a lot of gas digging going on.
That's actually JCP&L.
I understand that too, but there's also other utilities in here that appear to be fiber optics. I don't know for sure, but I've been around for a while.
Something that we could look into, like I know a lot of churches, they broadcast their masses on YouTube.
Well,
we could possibly look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Jesus, I got a frog. Mary Jo Albertus, 2 Constable. It's more of a comment or a response. Every year I call Verizon and ask them, when are you going to do fiber optics here in Greenbriar? They are not going to come here. They have gone to places in Brick, but they don't want to make the investment here. I'm not sure what the politics are, but they're not coming here. Nobody here has fiber optics. I'm thinking maybe you see the dish networks and stuff, but I just want to let you know, I call them at least once a year to ask, And Comcast has the market and they're taking advantage of it. So anyway, that comment. And then anything we could do maybe to get some stuff on TV, because I feel bad for people who are homebound. But like you said, Peter, if Comcast won't do the lines, there's no way to do it unless we do the YouTube thing. That would be a thought.
Yes.
Well, we have
But
it,
anyway,
I
I just wanted to respond to that they say no.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah, sorry.
It's on, you know, it's like even this is being broadcast live on, you know, our Greenbriar Facebook site. And I think, you know, the engine that does that is YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. But again, technology is not my wheelhouse. But I think YouTube is what powers that on our Facebook site.
Oh, does it? Okay. But anyway, so that's it on Verizon. They're not interested in us.
Okay, I think we've kind of exhausted. Tony, do you have one more question?
I have one more question. Tony Mento, 49 Decker, and I just would like to say that I've been living here. I know I don't look it, but I've been living here 17 years now. And I don't agree with all the talk about how there's so much dissension and there's so much. I have seen such a growth in this community over the past year. And we owe it all, in my opinion, to the people that have tried very hard to run this place and make this place a very, very nice place to live. And my question is simple. What will you continue to just make this a great place to live? That's all I want to know.
As I said earlier to Mita, I think it would be good if we had more team building type events. Brings everybody together. You have fun in a room together. They throw you right in that room and give you fun stuff to play with, and then you all end up getting together. And that's how you make better friends.
Yeah, Tony, absolutely. I enjoy seeing a community come together. You know, I like seeing smiling faces. It makes me happy to see a community that is together. I don't like any dissension between neighbors and friends, and you know, that's just not who I've ever been.
I will definitely pursue that. I think we can all benefit by it, and I think we have come a long way in the last year. And that's to all the wonderful people who are living here, and I thank them for that.
Absolutely, I fully agree. Certainly, the more and more activities we have in this wonderful clubhouse to bring people together would be fabulous. Whether it's a second pickleball court, if we could find a spot for it, or bowling nights, or Lakewood baseball nights, more activities where we could bring the people together, I think that would be fabulous.
Okay. Okay, at this point, we're going to give each of the candidates, I said 5 minutes, but I think you only need 2 minutes to sum up your positions, and then we can call it a day. So, Doreen?
Okay. Well, like I said, I've been living here 8 years. There's so much I love about the community, and I really think it would be an asset if you voted for me. I'm willing to help anybody that needs help in the office or on the board. I have PowerPoint skills. I have property management skills. I have a legal secretary working for a real estate lawyer for 5 or 6 years when my kids were little. And I just think it would be wise of you to vote for me. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. I think my work has spoken for itself the last few years. Like I said, there's more to do. I think I shared my viewpoint on our community. You know, I think that I wear my feelings on my sleeve. And, you know, I think that when I'm genuine when I listen to people speak and their complaints and their concerns.
I also want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I hope we can continue on the path we are on now. And I wish everyone, I just want everyone to be happy, kind, and considerate of their neighbors. And I want us to have a safe place where we can all put our head down on the pillow at night and say, thank you, God.
Greenbriar is a wonderful neighborhood, a wonderful community. The association and peoples, the volunteers, to keep this community safe are to be commended. I've been here 5 years. I will probably be here many more years. I look forward to all the activities that go on. And to remind you, I am a write-in candidate, and I appreciate if you could write my name, Stephen Camper, on the ballot.
Marie Dibley, 58 Central Boulevard. Very, very quick. Just look at this living, 32 years in here. That's all.
Yay!
Everyone, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for keeping the tone as civil as you did. Good questions. Thank you to the candidates for their participation. Have a good night.